There are rooms in all of us. Some we gladly open up, but some we keep closed, and some we may not even realize need attention. But when we invite God in, He doesn't just come in just to rearrange the furniture. He comes in to cleanse, to redeem, and to renew, and ultimately to renovate. So, what room are you in? Welcome to the conversation. Why I wrote Renovating the Heart. Um, I didn't write Renovating the Heart because I had or have everything together, because I don't. Let's make that very clear. It's actually quite the opposite. This book came out of God really showing me that there were some rooms in my own heart that still needed major attention and massive demolition. And here's what I've learned. You can love God, you can serve God, you can teach His word, you can teach His people, you can show up for people, you can be walking in your purpose, but then still have rooms in your heart that need renovation, still have places in our life that still need God to come in and do a work. So, as the book really began to come together and to develop, the house began to stand out as a metaphor to me. Because when you think about a house and how every room basically in a house serves a different purpose, what happens in the kitchen isn't normally something that's happening in the bedroom. What we store in the closet is usually different than what we put on display in the living room. I know you know what I'm saying there. And so I began to see kind of our hearts, or my heart, the same way, that there's parts of everybody that we get to see, and then there's places that we store things, that we hide things, that we place things, and even that things and people that we love. And those things may have been there for 5 minutes, or they could have been sitting there for years. And what I've come to realize is that this whole renovation of the heart started to become an invitation. It really did. It wasn't just renovate the heart, but it started to become an invitation to allow God to cleanse, to redeem, and to renew every room of our heart, every room of this house that I call a heart. But what I didn't want to do is that I didn't want to write a book where I basically was standing on the outside of your house telling you and telling everybody else what they need to fix in their house. Because we have a tendency in this culture to do that, to point and to tell and to stand in the midst of somebody else's house and tell them what you see. But no, I made the conscious decision that I was going to walk through my own rooms. I was going to walk through the living room of my heart and look at what has been said and what wasn't said that probably should have been said. Looking at the married bedroom of my house, the relationship, the intimacy, the expectation, and ultimately the sanctification of what the married bedroom is supposed to look like. Look at the closet in my heart. Where have I hidden things? Where has there been shame implanted in me? Where am I disappointed? The closet is the place where we'd rather people not see it when we think about the original intent of a closet. I'm not talking about the normal HGTV closets or the ones that people are doing podcasts out of today. I'm talking about the closet of the heart, or even the basement, that foundational place. What is that historical thing in your life? What is that place that you have underneath some things? And so, as I was writing Renovating the Heart, I realized that there were some rooms that were easier for me to write than others, because some rooms required me to tell me the truth. I think I should say that again, because there were some rooms in my heart that required me to tell me the truth. But here is what I've discovered since releasing the book. These aren't just my rooms. I'm not the only one that has these rooms in my heart, these places and spaces in my heart. But I've noticed that as people have started to read and to enter this journey with me, oh my goodness, I've heard people say, Natalie, I'm in the bathroom. And I know just in normal conversation, you don't want to talk to somebody and hear them say that. Or I've heard people say, I'm in the closet, or someone may send me a DM and say, that basement chapter, it got me. Because although our stories are different, the condition of this human heart is something all of us have to deal with. All of us have to deal with it, and I'm not trying to preach. So my goal in writing the book isn't to make you or I feel bad about the condition of our heart, because we know that this heart is deceitful, it's wicked. The Bible even says, "Who can know it?" And so, because that is the condition of the human heart, I'm not here to make you or I feel bad about it. My goal is for us to invite God into it. That's the goal. And so, what I've realized is that through even the book club, that many of us need that extra push. We need somebody sometimes to enter that room with us, to sit with us in that room. We're inviting God in, but you would have already invited him if you could have did it on your own. So some of us need that push. We need another sister, another brother with us that we can, move to that next space in our heart. And so that is why Renovating the Heart is becoming Renovating the Heart Live. And that's how we got to this point, because I realized that the conversation needed somewhere to go beyond just the pages, just us sitting here and reading the pages. I realized that it needed somewhere else to go. And I asked myself the question, what would happen if we actually created space, created a room where people could come together and begin having some real conversation around these rooms. Not pretending that coming together for a couple hours is going to fix everything. That's not what this is. But sometimes what you need is an environment that causes us to stop long enough to recognize, God, there's something here you and I need to deal with. So over the next couple weeks, I'm going to take you into some of the thinking behind renovating the heart. We're going to talk about the rooms. We're going to talk about renovation. And we're going to talk about why I believe God cares about what is happening inside of your spiritual house, this heart. But I'll leave you with this question. If your heart were a house, what room are you in right now? If your heart were a house, what room are you in right now? And if you're ready to have that conversation with us in person, I'll see you September 26th at the Renovating the Heart Live in Arlington, Texas. What room are you in right now?